dit que nos vies ne valent pas grand-chose, elles passent en un instant comme fanent les roses. On me dit que le temps qui glisse est un salaud, que de nos chagrins il s'en fait des manteaux. Pourtant quelqu'un m'a dit que tu m'aimes encore. C'est quelqu'un qui m'a dit que tu m'aimes encore. Serait-ce possible alors?
We see the effect, but do we ever fully understand the cause? Or does it stay unknown, unrealized, and therefore unchanged? Global issues are a system of cause and effect. By the actions we take today, we change what will happen tomorrow, for better or for worse. Everything that happens has a cause. One way of looking at global issues is through the iceberg model. For example, we know that an iceberg has only 10% of its total mass above the water, while 90% of it is underwater. But that 90% is what the ocean currents act on and what creates the iceberg behavior at its tip. Global issues can be seen the same way. We see and hear about only the tip, or the event that has happened, such as a catastrophic flood in China or an oil spill in Alaska. The events that we hear about through the news represent the iceberg tip. But if we look just below the waterline, we often see patterns or reoccurrences of events, such as multiple floods and reoccurring oil spills. Realizing the patterns of events is important because it shows that the event is not an isolated incident. Next, the bottom of the iceberg. The most massive part is the structure, or the underlying root causes that create or drive those patterns and make those events. For example, a problem such as recurring oil spills might be because of our dependence on fossil fuels. By only looking at the event, you may see the solution it is to just build stronger tankers and better pipelines. But by looking at the root cause of such oil spills, you can start to understand and address the long-term sustainable solutions, such as developing energy sources that do not rely on oil transportation. Finally, at the very base of the iceberg, there are assumptions and worldviews that have created or sustained the structures that are in place. The important thing to remember is that in solving problems, the greatest leverage point is in changing the structure, which will alter the events at its tip. We are living in an increasingly interconnected world. Human beings now more than ever are connected to each other and affected by each other. Information, news, political views, terrorism, and war updates spread almost instantly via the internet. Epidemics of disease spread quickly over air travel. And now, more than ever, when human beings change the environment in their own communities, they affect the environment in other countries. Because of this, it is important to understand the basic concepts about global issues. Global warming is a current global issue that is affecting the lives of millions. It is both persistent and long-acting, meaning that it only takes years or decades to be fully felt. But also, it will require the same time frames to be resolved. Global warming is also transitional, meaning that its effects are felt well beyond the borders of countries responsible for creating it. Global warming is an underlying cause of many terrible events such as desertification, crop failure, diminished water supplies, as well as intense droughts, hurricanes, spread of disease, and include the economical consequences from these tragedies. In addition, global warming is interconnected to many other issues. Efforts to slow global warming could positively impact a number of other issues, including food security and refuge issues tied to climate change. Global warming is only one issue we face as our environment continues to deteriorate and disappear. Remember the iceberg. Think about the events, patterns, and structures that cause them. Climate change and environmental deterioration is upon us. About 27,000 species of animals, plants, and insects, and microorganisms vanish forever every year. Animals such as mountain gorillas, giant pandas, and snow leopards are on the edge of extinction. Many scientists believe that 20 to 50% of all the species on Earth could disappear in the next 30 years. Half of the rainforest that once blanketed the Earth, almost 3 billion hectares, have disappeared. Every year, at least 16 million additional hectares are destroyed. Europe, the United States, and Japan, who make up less than 20% of the world's population, use more than 50% of the world's timber and more than 66% of its paper. It is estimated that the global fishing fleet is 2.5 times larger than what the ocean can sustainably produce. Oil supplies are declining and are believed by most economists and ecologists to run out sometime between 2010 and 2035. Transportation accounts for about 30% of the world energy use and 95% of oil consumption. Less than 1% of Chinese cities have clean air. Respiratory disease is the leading cause of death in China. Americans use 2.5 million plastic bottles every hour. Recycling just 10% of these bottles would keep 200 million pounds out of the landfills every year. The 10 warmest years have occurred since 1980, with the 5 hottest years occurring since 1995. It is estimated that global temperatures will rise 3 to 10 degrees in the 21st century. But what causes this, you may ask? Your everyday life choices. Think about how you contribute to the iceberg. You contribute by the resources you consume and the pollution you create, whether it be the carbon from your car or the water used in your kitchen. It all adds up. We are a generation and a culture of consumers, and we are using the Earth's resources at an alarming rate. Many soon will be gone, with destroyed environments left behind. What will the future hold? Will the planet become unavailable, unable to support human needs? We need to change now and fast, or it will soon be too late. There are many structural and personal changes that may help save our environment, but it is your job to take action. Here are some personal solutions to help change our effect on our future environment. Help support your local beach by participating in beach cleanup days. Conserve resources through daily actions. Use less water and do not pollute down city drains. Reduce the use of wood products such as paper, packaging, and lumber. Recycle paper products. Be educated about local forest areas and enjoy them for recreation. Support sustainable forest harvesting by using green certified lumber. Advocate for the conservation of endangered species and forest habitat. Donate to organizations helping endangered species. Some things the government is responsible for supporting as well, including developing wind energy. Wind power is inexpensive, inexhaustible, clean, and abundant. Promoting alternative transportation, shifting from car-centered transportation systems, shifting from car-centered transportation systems and way of life to a system combining light rail, buses, bicycles, and pedestrians would not only save gas and energy for the future, but would also reduce air pollution. Move from internal combustion engine automobiles to hybrid vehicles. Expand use of solar energy. Have you ever wanted to know how you personally contribute to the world and its resources? Well, now you can. By knowing your ecological footprint. Your ecological footprint is a measurement of human demand on the Earth's ecosystems and is useful when analyzing the Earth's carrying capacity. Your calculation determines the amount of productive land and water area it takes to provide the resources you consume. Using acres as a measurement, experts have calculated that the average person in India has an ecological footprint of less than 2 acres, while someone in Mexico has an ecological footprint of 6 acres, in France 14 acres, in the United States 24 acres. It is estimated that it would take 6 Earths to supply this human population if everyone were to live and consume the amount of an average American. If average population grows or average level of worldwide resource consumption increases, the total ecological footprint on the Earth also increases. Both population and way of life either increase or decrease one country's average ecological footprint. Your ecological footprint is measured in 4 parts, including your carbon, food, housing, and goods and services footprints. Find out your ecological footprint and take the short quiz today at www.myfootprint.org. Find ways to reduce your ecological footprint and work to a sustainable future now. It is important to keep in mind that sustainability is not a finished product, but a work in progress. Every step we take in our lives takes us closer to or farther away from a sustainable world. It is up to each of us to decide what steps we are ready and willing to take on the road to sustainability.